and timely treatments. At Tanner Health, every patient's journey is a testament to resilience, a story of strength, healing, and hope. We go beyond treatment to redefine what compassionate care truly means. That's Tanner Health. That's care redefined. Learn more at tanner.org.
Oak Mountain Academy is a vibrant community built on innovation, academic excellence, and a 64-year legacy of shaping community leaders. I'm Patrick Uran, head of school at Oak Mountain Academy, inviting you to visit the mountain and experience firsthand the passion, purpose, and personalized education that defines our school. Come see how our mission and vision come to life each day. For more information, visit us at oakmountain.us so that you can discover your journey on the mountain, where every path leads to purpose.
National headlines and the local stories you care about. WLBB, Carrollton, News Talk 1330, FM 106.3.
Time right now is 8:30. Good Thursday morning. Welcome to the WLBB Community Voice here on News Talk 1330, FM 106.3, streaming live online at newstalk1330.com. And everything is right with the world because Joel Brock is back with us. We broadcasting live on the News Talk 1330 WLBB Facebook page this morning. And we have a candidate running for office here locally. Do want to remind you that the general primary election, nonpartisan elections, coming up on May the 19th. Early voting for that race has already started, going on through May the 15th. Among the local races, 4 people qualified to run for the District 4 seat on the Carroll County Board of Commissioners. Current District 4 Commissioner Steve Fuller did not qualify to run for re-election, and these are the 4 people who were on the ballot. You got Jason Jones, Jeffrey Vance, Tina Shockley, and our guest this morning, Will Godbee. So, Will, good morning.
Good morning, Colin. How are you?
I'm doing great, sir. Thank you. And Will did abide by the biscuit mandate this morning. Took care of us for breakfast. Familiar name maybe to some people, in at least in District 4. Will ran for this office 4 years ago and was a young boy then and still a young man now.
Yes, sir.
I should have said young man. You were a young man then. But
yes,
give us your background. Talk a little bit about who you are. How would you introduce yourself to somebody?
Well, good morning. My name's Will Godbee. I'm a lifelong resident of Carroll County. I'm a 7th-generation Carroll Countian. Live in the Clem community. Went to Central High School, graduated, and then went on to the University of Georgia, where I graduated with a degree or a bachelor's in political science. Decided to move back home and work with our family business. We have a right-of-way and clearing business. So we work all over the state. I do all the invoicing, billing. I manage our day-to-day operations in that business. We've got about 15 employees, so it keeps me pretty busy. But I just wanted to move back here, and I love where I live, love where I've grown up. And so I wanted to move back here and try to, be a part of my local community, and I feel that I could serve my community. My family's been in public service for many years. My grandfather was a commissioner when I was a child. So that's really what sparked my interest in local politics. My dad was a deputy for 16 years, and my mom's a Carroll County teacher. She works at Whitesburg Elementary School. Worked there almost 23 years now. So I just feel that public service runs in my, blood, and the only reason I'm running is just to be a servant for the people and be a voice for the people. So
I know 4 years ago when you did run, we highlighted the fact that you probably would have been among the youngest ever elected. Was that fair for us to do? I mean, I never say anything negative about it, but we did highlight it because it's so different to have somebody.
I think my age is actually. I think it's great that I'm young because I have a different perspective, on life. From different generations have different perspectives, and I think we are the future. The young people are the future of our country, and if we don't get involved in making the decisions of our future, we have no if we don't have a voice or sit at the table, then the decisions that are being made that affect us mostly, we have no chance to change. We have no way to do anything different. So I think that if we're at the table, then we have an opportunity to make our voice heard and change and affect the future of our country and county and state. So
Will Godbee, one of 4 candidates running for the District 4 seat on the Carroll County Board of Commissioners. If you have any questions or comments for Will, please post those to the News Talk 1330 WLBB Facebook page, and I will try my best to take a look at those and share those with our guest. Well, describe the boundaries of District 4 for those who may not know, and just to confirm that you know.
Yes. So District 4 is Clem, Oak Grove, Old Camp. It goes all the way out to Maple Street and back through the city of Carrollton, the square, back around to the south side of Lake Carroll, and then back down Burns Road, back to it includes Sunset Hills, Oak Mountain, Golf, and much of the southern side of the city, and the northern southern side of the county, I guess you would say. So
it's up Rome Street, right? I'm guessing
yes,
because I see
it
the
goes
signs.
Rome Street.
It
Goes all the way to the end of Rome Street. Yes, sir. So it encompasses a pretty diverse, but it's pretty compact, really. But it's diverse. I mean, you've got 2 different groups of people, and I don't think they want too many different things. I think most people in Carroll County are on the same page. What they want, and I they don't want to end up like some of the surrounding counties. But yeah, it's a really neat district, and I feel like out on the campaign trail, I've talked to a lot of people, but most of their concerns are the same.
You mentioned talking about going on the campaign trail. So what are they? What are their concerns? What are they telling you?
Main thing's growth. Quality development, smart growth, while also preserving our natural rural landscape.
Growth?
Smart growth. So I've got the definition. It's a developmental approach that encourages sustainable communities, aiming to curb urban sprawl while fostering economic growth and protecting the environment. Mm-hmm. So basically what that means is, just putting things in the proper locations, protecting what we already have, our rural heritage, as well as but growth is inevitable, and we're going to have it if we want to, keep, providing the services that we provide. So I think the main thing, though, is we just have to put it in the right locations. I mean, location is everything. So 27 North, 61 North, your main corridors. That's where I believe most of our growth should be. And District 4, encompasses some of that, but there's not much land in District 4 that needs a ton of growth, in my opinion. We need to keep our farms where they are. We need to protect them, but it's hard for anybody to get in the farming industry in this day and time because prices have been, just run up by these developers. So it's hard for somebody, younger, old to just go out and buy a farm because land values are so high. So unless you've been passed a generational farm down, not many people are getting into farming, which is sad to me because, we've got 60 acres that was farmed at one time, and we still have a little garden and things like that. But, we can't imagine trying to go out and buy 60 acres now. And we bought it for $500 in 1908. So got the original deed. We sold a chicken and a cow and $500 and, 60 acres, or 75 back then. We've sold a little bit off, but so it's just a whole different ball game nowadays. And, I would like to see the way I was raised, traffic's gotten crazy, things like that. We've got to do something. We've got to do something to slow it down, and I think we can. I think there are ways to do that.
Will Godbee, our guest on this morning's Community Voice program, one of 4 candidates running for the District 4 seat on the Carroll County Board of Commissioners. Would you have challenged Steve Fuller this go around if he decided to run again?
Steve told me last time when he got elected, he said that night at the elections office, he said, I'm not going to run again. So, yes, I had planned on running no matter what. I said 4 years ago that I was running, and I'm a man of my word, so that's what I was going to do.
All right, we'll take our first break here. Will Godbee, our guest on this morning's Community Voice program. Again, he's one of 4 candidates for the District 4 seat on the Carroll County Board of Commissioner. Will, along with Jason Jones, Jeffrey Vance, and Tina Shockley. I already had the opportunity to interview Jason Jones and Tina Shockley, and those programs are available on the newstalk1330.com website, and I believe, well, if Facebook hasn't taken them down yet, I think they're doing that after 30 days. But so those interviews are still available, and next week we have Jeffrey Vance scheduled as well. All right, break number one right now, Community Voice brought to you by Tanner Health and Oak Mountain Academy.
Imagine a place where every heartbeat is monitored with the utmost care, where emergencies are met with swift attention, and where cutting-edge technology enables precise and timely treatments. At Tanner Health, every patient's journey is a testament to resilience, a story of strength, healing, and hope. We go beyond treatment to redefine what compassionate care truly means. That's Tanner Health. That's care redefined. Learn more at tanner.org.
Do the math. At Oak Mountain Academy, our average graduating class has just 12 students. We celebrate a 100% graduation rate with more than $10.5 million in college scholarships offered. Plus, 96% of our students are accepted into their top choice college. Do the math. Can you see the value of an OMA education? I'm Patrick Uran, head of school at Oak Mountain Academy, and I'm here to help you do the math. For more information, visit us at oakmountain.us so that you can discover your journey on the mountain, where every path leads to purpose.
Time right now is 8:40. Welcome back to the WLBB Community Voice. My name is Colin Worthington. My guest this morning is Will Godbee. He's one of 4 candidates running for the District 4 seat on the Carroll County Board of Commissioners. Now, perhaps our listeners know there's a development moratorium going on in Carroll County. The board enacted a 100-day moratorium on permits for data centers, solar farms, and battery storage. Rubeville's not in your district, right?
No, sir.
Okay. So, what's your long-term stance on these high-utility industries, and how do you balance the potential for good tax revenue with concerns about the land use?
My opinion, on any decision that I have to make, if I get elected, I would have to look at the advantages and disadvantages. I don't think you can blatantly come out and say that you're against something. I just don't think, because you don't know all the facts, and so I think you have to look at every aspect of it, impact on the community, water, power usage. I think we have to look at the revenue that it possibly could bring in, because we've all heard the numbers. Some people say this much, some people say this much. You don't know what's true because you don't know. Most of the information you can get is from data center builders, so you don't know. They're going to sell you that it's great, So it may be. I don't know, but I think we have to look at it on a case by case basis, but I don't think we should have them in agriculturally zoned areas of the county. I think if we do end up wanting them, not saying I'm for or against them at this moment, but I think if we do, we would have to put them on main corridors in the county. I don't think you can put them out in the middle of nowhere, and not the middle of nowhere, but where people live. Mm-hmm. People are going to be against that, and you have to vote based on what your constituents want, and it's really and truly, it's not my opinion on data centers, it's the people's opinion. It doesn't really matter what Will Godbee thinks about data centers, because it's not Will Godbee. Yes, it would be me voting for you, but it's me representing you. That's what a commissioner does. It's not about me. So at the end of the day, I think I would have to listen to my constituents, do my own research, speak to these builders and developers, and make a decision based on what I think's best for the county, but also for my constituents and what they want. That's how I would vote.
Well, along those same lines, if there was maybe a possible redevelopment or rezoning that needed to happen, a business wanted it, or if there's a big issue in the county and you felt like you studied up on it, educated yourself on it, and knew better that it would be beneficial for the county, but your constituents are saying, we don't like that. Please don't do this, or don't do this because I think that way. How would you resolve that between yourself and the constituents?
Well, I think, transparency is everything in government. So I think if you get ahead of these things and, promote it, and not promote it, but if you get ahead of it and tell the constituents, this is what we're doing, I've done my research, this, have town halls, have meetings in the public eye where people can hear what you're talking about. Because when things are done behind closed doors, it makes people have a bad taste in their mouth. They don't like it, you know. So I think if we publicly do a lot of this stuff, it would get rid of a lot of the confusion and, you know, where we're headed. So if we do it publicly, people would know what's going on. And I think you just being informed, you know, you can sway somebody's opinion, because I may know, you know, if I'm a commissioner, I may know something that the public doesn't. So I could, you know, bring that to light and say, hey, you know, guys, this is going to be a good thing for us. You know, you may not see it right now, but let me explain to you why this would be beneficial to Carroll County. And at the end of the day, though, if they're still against it, that's how I'm going to vote, because as a commissioner, you're representing the people. That's all. That is your job. So if they're against it, that's what I would have to be.
Just trying to stay along the same lines for transparency. If somebody's interested in bringing a data center again here to this community, they're going to want to show it to you guys first, and they're going to ask you to sign an NDA. Now, I mean, that's, and you're holding back that information, but I guess if you speak out against it, you might lose the alleged benefits for it. Would you sign an NDA for a business to check that out?
You know, I don't know if legally we can. I've not done the research on that.
Legally, you can avoid it, or
yeah, like I don't know the legal side of that as far as being a commissioner. If you have to, or I mean, I personally don't think anything should be hidden from the public. I think that, you know, they should know what's going on. If this data center is going to be so great to the community, why do we need to hide information from the public? I mean, I believe in transparency. So if there's something going on and somebody asks me about it, I'm probably going to tell them. I mean, that's just how I feel. I'm honest. I mean, you know, I believe that the people should know what's going on around them.
Well, the rezoning question, that's one of the big tasks for a county commissioner.
Yes, sir.
The budget as well. Each year, how would what will you look at to decide whether or not you would encourage a millage rate increase, or lowering it, or leaving it the same? What would that landscape look like for you?
Well, I think we just have to look at, you know, the revenue that we're bringing in, the services we're providing. And then, you know, obviously everybody wants to, you know, decrease taxes, but I'm not going to sit here and say that that's going to happen every single time, because we don't know, you know, what the economy is going to do. We don't know. There's a lot of factors that go into that. But obviously I'm for smaller government. I don't believe the government should have a hand in everything we do, and less regulatory. I'm sure I know of some local issues that we've dealt with in our business that I think we could change and save the taxpayers' money, business owners' money. So that's something that I would love to look into if I get elected. But, you know, the budget and, you know, how would you look at that? You know, I think we need to bring in all the department heads and go over the budget, see where we can be more efficient, because there's always room for improvement. I don't care. And the private sector is always more efficient than government. So being a business owner, I feel like my dad is, but I mean, I have, you know, I help him every day, or I do most of our management every day. So I see the budget, and I see what we bring in and what we spend and what we can make and how we can save money on fuel, and just, I mean, all kinds of different things in our business. And we're just a small business, but I'm sure there's ways we can save money. I feel positive there is.
Will Godbee is our guest on this morning's Community Voice program. Over the last 30 years, approximately 30 years, I guess, Carroll County voters have supported special purpose local option sales tax. It's 1 penny on a dollar. Mm-hmm. Go to capital projects. I think it's, you know, looking back, it's probably an average of 70% supporting it to 30, maybe 65, 35. But there is that 35% that does not support it, and I'd say a lot of them are just against taxes, period. Now, are you a supporter of SPLOST?
I am. I think it's great for people that don't live in our community. They come here and spend their money, and we do get a benefit from that, because we do have a lot of attractions that bring people through our county. I mean, so I think it's great that, you know, we let some other people pay our tax burden. But like you said, the 35% that votes against it, they just don't like taxes. And I mean, I don't think anybody enjoys taxes, but I think that's probably the most fair tax, just because, you know, it's letting everybody pay it. You know, it's not just citizens of Carroll County. So
it's a lot of money that comes in, like
Correct.
over a 4 or 5 year period. I mean, more
yes,
than $100.
But I think we should
$100.
have a scope of, you know, what we're going to spend it on. I think we should. I mean, you're not always going to know what you need, but there's infrastructure things, cars, vehicles, that kind of thing. I'm sure that.
I don't know.
Well, you can't spend it on that. You can only spend it on capital projects. That's right. So buildings and things like that. But
are you? Do you believe Carroll County has done a good job with the money they have collected from SPLOST over the last 3 decades? Are there things that are we buying anything that we really don't need, but we have that money there and you got to spend it?
I mean, I think we've done a fine job. I mean, the thing, like the new admin building. I mean, the people voted on it, so it got approved. I mean, things like that. I mean, we've got to keep up. We got to be proactive and keep up with our buildings and things like that, because if they get old and run down like College Street had, then you've got to spend the money, and that's the great thing about SPLOST. I mean, that's what provide the money for that. So, no, I don't think we've done anything bad, with our money.
Time right now is 6:50. My guest this morning is Will Godbee, one of 4 candidates running for the District 4 seat on the Carroll County Board of Commissioners. I will take another peek during the break to see if you posted any questions or comments for Will, and I will share them when we come back. We'll have about 9 minutes left in the program. Community Voice brought to you by Tanner Health and Oak Mountain Academy.
Imagine a place where every heartbeat is monitored with the utmost care, where emergencies are met with swift attention, and where cutting-edge technology enables precise and timely treatments. At Tanner Health, every patient's journey is a testament to resilience, a story of strength, healing, and hope. We go beyond treatment to redefine what compassionate care truly means. That's Tanner Health. That's care redefined. Learn more at tanner.org.
Oak Mountain Academy specializes in a customized designed academic approach tailored to meet the needs of our families. Our lower division prepares students with the necessary foundation to build excellence. Our middle division provides students with over 15 course offerings, providing them with opportunities to explore their talents and gifts. Our upper division provides personalized academic journeys, allowing them to achieve their dreams. I'm Patrick Uran, head of school, inviting you to journey with us. For more information, visit us at oakmountain.us, where every path leads to purpose.
Hey, 51, welcome back to the WLBB Community Voice, News Talk 1330 FM 106.3, also streaming live on the News Talk 1330 WLBB Facebook page this morning. If you miss any of the show, it will be available in podcast form on the News Talk 1330.com website, as well as the News Talk 1330 WLBB Facebook page. And again, I think Facebook's been taking stuff down after 30 days, because that's their way of selling that we need data centers, I guess.
Facebook's a nightmare.
Yeah,
after I lost my Facebook page, oh my gosh.
All right. Again, Will Godbee, my guest on this morning's Community Voice program. Say you're elected, it is kind of odd. I mean, you'll be, because there are no Democrats running. I mean, you'll know if you're going to be a commissioner for like 7 months before you actually
yes, sir.
Step into office. But what would you hope to present to the board, something that you hope they would at least attempt or know about in that first 6 months?
So it's actually been brought to my attention that we have this service cost and revenue streams of different land uses in Carroll County, Georgia study. And the last time it was done was August of 2002. And what this study does is it tells us, per revenue, expenditures per the revenue, by land use. So 22 years ago, for residential, for every dollar that we brought in revenue, it cost $1.29 for services. And for commercial and industry, it was only 37 cents. Farm and forest was 55 cents. So I think it's very important that we do this study again. And I believe it's around $35,000 to do this study, but I believe it would be very important because, we really don't know what kind of growth we need without this study. This tells us, what services are costing per, thing, per resident or per piece of land, per land use. It tells us what the cost would be. So I think it would be very beneficial to do this study, and I would hope that they would, recognize that and see the same thing that I do.
I guess it would maybe help address when we were making decisions on, what should be built and what.
Correct. I mean, it would help us to know what we should bring here.
How much does that cost?
$35,000 is what I heard. Okay. I mean, that's what I've been told And the person that did this study is still doing this study, so I think it would be great for us to look into that and do that again, just so we would know where we're headed as a county.
Carroll County Board of Commissioners, this happened last month. They approved a series of, quote, cost-saving measures aimed at keeping the county's solid waste system sustainable while protecting property taxpayers from rising costs. They're going to charge a fee for anybody who uses the convenience center, takes things there to dispose of it. And they do say that, hey, we're charging the people who use it so the people who don't use it don't have to pay. But can you think of any other things that everybody's paying for in the county, even if they don't use it? I mean, if you think about, if nobody goes to the parks, I mean, if somebody can't go to the parks or whatever, I mean, they're still paying for that. But
correct.
What are your initial thoughts on that convenience center issue?
So I actually attended the Carroll County retreat down at Callaway Gardens back in February. I was the only candidate to do so, and they actually talked a lot about solid waste at that retreat. So I learned a lot down there at that, and I kind of knew that was coming before it actually came. But something that's costing us a ton of money, like solid waste was, I think they had to do something, and I think that was kind of just a thing that would be the easiest way to bring in some revenue without charging everybody, going up on taxes, that kind of thing. So it is more of a selective, thing. If you use it, then you're going to pay, but if not, and I mean, I don't, we're paying, if you have private trash service, you're going to pay way more than what you're going to pay, for this. So some people are going to complain about it, but I don't think it's a terrible thing. I do know that a lot of citizens are concerned with trash being dumped on dirt roads.
That's been the biggest concern.
And things like that, and I totally understand that. But they made it clear at that meeting that if trash was dumped on dirt roads, that they would do everything possible to make whoever done that, if they could prove who done it, they would, prosecute them to the highest extent. So I think that's one of those things that's a learning curve. We got to see how it works, and they may go back to not charging next year. You don't know. I think we just have. I think it's one of those test trial run kind of things, because they really didn't know any other way to fix the problem. GFL, I think, had went up, and they kind of control the market. They own the landfills, so you can't really go hire anybody else to do the service, because then they're just going to charge you more to dump.
Is it going to affect July 1st, or is it June? It must be.
I think it is July.
July 1st. So yeah, get out to the convenience centers and dump everything off there before you go.
Yeah, and they moved. You can't take furniture and that kind of thing. You have to go to the transfer station now at Simonton Mill.
All right, we got about 3 minutes here left in the program. What's your favorite thing about Carroll County?
My favorite thing, well, and I don't know if anybody's heard my radio ad, but it's part of my Pawpaw's.
Everybody's heard your radio ad. Will, come on.
It's part of my Pawpaw's ad from 20 years ago, and he says, "What do you like most about Carroll County, Will?" And I said, "I like fishing with you, Pawpaw, and Hoopin' Creek." And so, I love my community. My favorite thing probably would just be the people, my neighbors. I love talking to everybody, and I've made so many friends, throughout the years of my life, and a family. I mean, I just love the atmosphere in Carroll County. I love the people.
Well, you won't be knowledgeable on every single thing that's brought
absolutely
before the board. So who could you go to for guidance first? Who would be the first people here in the community that you would go to for maybe guidance and direction? And they may tell you to go read this over here. But
well, I've got a lot of people that I've been raised around. My grandfather being a commissioner, some Charles Pope, he's endorsed me, and he worked for the county for many, many years, and he knows a good bit about the roads department and how different things work in the county. So he would be a good one. I have a good relationship with people at the sheriff's office. So
not because you've been in jail.
Not because I've been in jail, but just because my dad was a deputy, and I was raised around a lot of those men. And look up to them a lot, All
right, well, you're coming to my house, you're knocking on my door, and I'm running out of the house. I got to go to work. I got my cup of coffee and my baby in my arm, and I got 1 minute for you. How are you selling me on to vote for Will Godbee?
So I'm gonna walk up. I'm gonna say, "Hey, Colin," or if I know you, I'm gonna say, "Mr. Worthington, my name's Will Godbee, and I'm running for District 4 Commissioner. I'd like to just talk to you for a second, and I feel like I'm the best candidate because I'm 26 years old, but not beholden to anyone. I don't have an agenda. I just want to serve the people of District 4. And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. And then, that's the only reason I'm running, is just to serve the people. And I actually had a woman cry when I told her that. I mean, that's one of the most strange experiences in my life, to have somebody cry and say, like, that's wonderful that, we have young people that want to be involved and serve. So that's where, I just want to serve the people. That's the only reason I'm running.
All right, Will Godbee, one of 4 candidates running for the District 4 seat on the Carroll County Board of Commissioners. Early voting is ongoing until May the 22nd. No, I'm sorry, May 15th. May 15th is early voting, voting. And May 19th is actually Election Day. So, hey, again, this is the 3rd out of the 4 candidates we've had on our program. So go back and check out the other 2 candidate shows and compare those with Will. And, of course, next week we have Jeff Vance on the program, so watch that one as well. Thank you for coming out this morning.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching, and thank you for listening. And thank you, Joel, for coming back. Community Voice, brought to you by Tanner Health and Oak Mountain Academy.